Hey YouTube, this is Zach with Achilles Financial. Today I'm going to be talking about Shopify Inc. And one key thing in particular when we talk about Shopify is the potential for a stock or a share split. The purpose of today's video is to highlight what we've seen other companies do in their lead up to the stock split. The first company that I really want to highlight is going to be NVDA, which they completed a 4-for-1 split today. You can see that that is now reflected in their $186 share price. Yesterday, their closing share price was just north of $750 a share, and you can see that that's now been reflected here in the stock today. If we look at the chart year to date, you can see where some of that information began coming out, where we actually see this gap up here at earnings when they announced, hey, we're actually going to be increasing or doing a share split, and we saw a corresponding increase during the entirety of the month of June into July, and now we're seeing some of that sell to news as well as broader weakness in the tech sector. So this is something that we saw not only with NVIDIA, but we also saw this last year with both Apple as well as Tesla. And that leads us to the question of, is there any additional value associated with a share split? Why companies would do so? And what are some key contenders? Now, the idea behind a share split is that there is not additional value associated with the stock, because if you have a stock like NVIDIA that is trading for $800 a share and then you split it out, it is simply going to be $200 per share when you do that 4-for-1 split. The idea behind it, though, is now because there is such a momentum in retail traders that when you have shares that are lower priced, there will be more interest in them. A key component of that, and one that I think is a major opportunity here, is going to be Shopify. The idea behind Shopify being that due to the fact that they right now have a relatively low float, although it's not as low as it used to be, but now with the total holdings of 124 million shares, it's no longer this big mover that they used to be, although that being said, they did move $50 today. What would the potential be if they were to do a 5-for-1 share split? And I don't think that that is out of the question. Now, keep in mind that Shopify, like NVIDIA, does maintain a very high PE ratio. Currently, we're sporting a 113 price to earnings ratio, so they are incredibly highly valued. They're almost all the way back to their all-time highs, which you can see here was almost $1,600 a share. They actually had a pretty significant price target raise from National Bank. You can see that here. So there's a lot of momentum for this stock. One of the key items that we'll be looking at is if there were to be a share split or a stock split, I would anticipate Shopify shares to rise again, notably due to the fact that the idea that this would be more attainable for retail investors would be incredibly exciting. Another key advantage of a stock split as a retail holder is that you would be able to sell additional covered calls on your portions of shares, because that would be split out additionally, despite the fact that the overall value doesn't really have a change. So all of this being said, Shopify is not only a really strong company in terms of growth, however, I do think that there is going to be potential, and there's got to be ongoing discussions at the upper level management of, is it worthwhile to actually do a share split at this point in time? Keep in mind that a share split doesn't add any tangible value to the actual stock share price, but rather it's just perceived potential value because people are going to buy those shares at a lower stock price. So keep that in mind as you're watching this, but this is one that I'm going to be heavily following going forward. And if they were to make that announcement, I would make an options play on that to the call side. So let me know in the comments below if you would actually purchase Shopify solely based on the fact that their share price may be lower today, or is that $1,500 share price a little bit too intimidating? And the other thing that I would ask is, if you found this content helpful, please consider leaving a like and subscribe. It really helps the channel to grow. So thanks for watching, appreciate it, and I will talk to you later. Bye.